Hello, my name is Kelvin Christopher, and today, to fulfill my comprehensive tasks, I would like to present literary criticism in presentation. Let's get started. The first part is table of content, which contain first psychological approach, and the second is cultural studies, and the last is feminism and gender studies. Psychological approach. The psychological approach is the literature criticism has been one of the most contentious and one of the most misunderstood, and for many readers, the one that has received the least amount of the appreciation. Freud said he proposed that the majority of individuals' mental activities take place outside of the conscious awareness. In addition to this, he argued that the fundamental force behind all the human behavior is sexuality. Sigmund Freud also provided an evidence through his many carefully recorded case studies that the most of our actions are motivated by psychological forces over which we have very limited control. He demonstrated that, like an iceberg, human mind is structured so that its great weight and density lie beneath the surface. You can see in the picture, there is conscious and subconscious, and the middle part is unconscious part, and the last is ID. The conscious part is like thoughts and our perception, and the unconscious part is like our memories and stored knowledge, and the deepest part is ID, like fears, unacceptable desires, a shameful experience, traumatic experience, violent motive, and many other things like there's contains in ID. The culture studies. Culture studies is the field of study in which culture is understood not just as textual or artistic products like books, music, film, but in broader sense of dynamic and complexly patterned ways of life. One of the experts said, Patrick Bradlinger said, cultural studies is no tightly coherent, unified movement with a fixed agenda, but loosely coherent group of tendencies, issues, and questions. And cultural structures share 4 goals. Like the first one is cultural studies transcend and confines a particular discipline, such as literary criticism and or history. And the second is cultural studies is politically engaged. The third, cultural studies denies the separation of high and low. And the last is cultural studies analyze not only cultural work, but also the means of production in what they call social reason, which often resembles the goals of values, humanistic and democratic ideals. You move to the next part, feminism and gender studies. The studies focus on the complex interaction of gender with other identity markers such as race, ethnicity, sexuality, nation, and religion. To be more precise, feminism has generally focused more on what is lacking than what is seen, showing concern about how male are privileged in patriarchal cultures that silence and marginalize women. We have 4 kinds of feminism. Let's get started with the feminism and psychoanalysis. Psychoanalytic theory like Sigmund Freud, Jacques Lacan, Julia Kristeva explain that biologically based idea about what it means to be woman. The expert focus on that point. And the second is multicultural feminism. Multicultural feminism have argued against racism, xenophobia, and also homophobia. For example, Latina, Asian American, Native American feminists, all of them have their own cultural issues. And the third is Marxist feminism. What is Marxist feminist? Marxist feminist is a source idea of the constructivist feminism. Marxist feminists have criticized about what they call classes, and they thought it must be ideological and moral criticism, the form of revolutionary. And the last is feminist film studies. Feminist and film studies is focused on the gender identity that comes from patriarchal culture, which an idea where men are better than women. The expert said that Laura Mulvey realized that when watching movies, mostly a man can force women to take a part in humiliation. I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day. Bye.